Buying a home in Palm Springs should be exciting and not stressful. But if you end up with one of these 5 types of properties, you might be in for a world of trouble. Let's count down the top 5 homes you should never buy in the greater Palm Springs area and why they could turn your dream into a nightmare. Palm Springs is known for its beautiful homes and stunning landscapes. But did you know that some properties here can cause a big headache for buyers? From older houses with hidden problems to homes in risky areas, there's a lot to watch out for. Making the wrong choice could cost you a lot of money and stress. But don't worry, I'm here to help you avoid these pitfalls. Are you ready to learn what to avoid? Let's get started. Now that we've set the stage, let's talk about the first type of home you might want to think twice about in Palm Springs. These are older properties. These time-worn treasures can be super charming, but they often come with some serious baggage. You might be wondering what's so bad about a classic Palm Springs home with all that history. Well, let me tell you, while these vintage beauties can be real eye-catchers, they're often hiding some not-so-pretty secrets behind those stylish facades. One of the biggest issues with older homes is their outdated electrical systems. These old wirings can be a real fire hazard, and bringing them up to current safety standards is not a small job. It's complex and can cost you a pretty penny. But that's not all. The plumbing in these older homes can be just as troublesome. Many still have galvanized steel or even lead pipes. Not only can these cause water quality problems, but they can also be a health risk. Replacing all of that old plumbing, yeah, that's another big expense you're going to need to factor in. So now let's talk about maintenance. Older homes often need special care and materials for repairs. It's not as simple as running to the local hardware store. You might need to hunt down specific parts or hire specialists who know how to work with these older systems. This can really add up over time. Now you might be thinking, but I love the character of older homes. I totally get it. But here's something else to consider. Many of these vintage properties lack the modern amenities we've all grown accustomed to. Open floor plans, energy-efficient windows, updated kitchens and bathrooms, these features aren't often part of the package. And renovating to add them, well, that's another major expense. So what should you do if you're still drawn to that charming older home? First, make sure you get a thorough inspection, and I mean thorough. Look for signs of structural damage, outdated systems, and areas that might need immediate attention. It's also a great idea to bring in a specialist who really knows historic homes. They can give you the inside scoop on what you really are getting yourself into. I have a couple great local inspectors and specialists here. And remember, buying a home in Palm Springs should be exciting and not stressful. Hi, I'm Kim Bloch, and I'm a local realtor here in the greater Palm Springs area. I would love to help you find the perfect home here in our beautiful desert. My contact information is here and down below in the description. And there's also a link to Calendly if you want to just do a 15-minute Zoom, no obligation, just set up that appointment. And that link is also below. Now, while these older properties might seem like treasures, they could end up being more trouble than they're worth. Keep these potential pitfalls in mind as you search for your perfect Palm Springs paradise. Now that we've talked about older homes, let's look at something that affects properties of all ages. Location and natural hazards. You've probably heard the saying location, location, location when it comes to real estate, but did you know that in Palm Springs, picking in the wrong spot could turn your dream home into a nightmare? First up, let's talk about crime. Nobody wants to live in an area where they don't feel safe, right? But it's not just about peace of mind. High crime rates can actually hurt your wallet too. Research shows that if violent crimes go up by 10% in an area, home values can drop by 6%. That is a big hit to your investment. Now, what about natural disasters? Well, Palm Springs is beautiful, but it's got its share of environmental risks. Some areas are prone to flooding, and that can be a real problem. If you do buy in a flood zone, you might face higher insurance costs. And this can make your home less attractive for future buyers if you ever want to sell. But it's not just about crime and natural disasters. Sometimes it's the little things that can make a big difference, like living next to a busy road or an industrial area. These might not seem like deal breakers at first, but they can really affect your quality of life. And guess what? They can also lower your property value. On the flip side, being close to good stuff can boost your home's worth. Things like schools, parks, and shopping centers make life more convenient, and the convenience is something people are willing to pay for. And the same goes for easy access to highways and public transportation. If it's simple to get around, your property becomes more desirable. So how do you figure out if a neighborhood is a good bet? There are some great online tools you can use. Websites like Spot Crime or the FBI's Crime Data Explorer can give you the scoop on local safety. And for flood risks, check out flood zone maps from your local government. Remember, buying a home in Palm Springs should be exciting, but it's important to do your homework on the neighborhood before you commit. A little research now could save you a lot of headaches and money down the road. Now that we've talked about location issues, let's uncover some hidden horrors that could turn your dream home into a money pit. You might think you've found the perfect place, but what's lurking beneath the surface? First up, let's talk about structural issues. These are the big problems that can cost you big bucks. We're talking about things like cracks in the walls, uneven floors, or perhaps doors that won't close properly. These could be signs of serious foundation problems. And let me tell you, fixing a foundation is not cheap. It can cost tens of thousands of dollars and cause major headaches. But it's not just about the foundation. Have you ever thought about what might be living in the walls? Pest infestations, especially termites, can cause extensive damage to a home. These little critters can eat away at the surface of your house even without you knowing it. And getting rid of them, that's another expense you'll have to deal with. Speaking of unwanted guests, let's talk about mold. It's not just unsightly, it can be dangerous to your health. Mold can hide behind walls, under floors, or even in attics. Removing it properly can be costly and might even require major renovation. Now here's something you might not have thought about: unpermitted additions or renovations. Some homeowners try to save money by skipping the permit process when they make changes to their home. My husband and I made this big mistake years ago, and take it from me, this can cause big problems down the line. These unpermitted changes might not be up to code, which could mean safety issues, plus it can make it hard to sell your home in the future. So how do you protect yourself from these hidden horrors? The key is doing a thorough home inspection, and I mean thorough. Don't just go with a basic inspection. Bring in specialists to check for structural issues, pests, and mold. It's also a good idea to check with the city to make sure all additions and renovations were properly permitted. Remember, buying a home in Palm Springs should be exciting and not stressful. By knowing what to look for and doing your due diligence, you can avoid these potential money pits and find a home that's truly worth your investment. Now that we've covered the types of homes to avoid, let's talk about finding your perfect Palm Springs paradise. Remember those older properties, high crime areas, flood zones, homes with poor accessibility, and places near undesirable features? Steering clear of those is a great start, but how do you make sure you're making the right choice? First, do your homework. Research neighborhoods, check crime stats, and look into flood risks. Don't just rely on what you see online. Visit the area at different times of the day. Next, get professional help. A good home inspector can spot issues you might miss. They'll check for structural problems, pest infestations, and other hidden issues. But it's not all about avoiding the bad stuff. Look for homes in well-maintained neighborhoods with good schools and amenities. Consider newer properties with modern features and energy-efficient systems. These can save you money in the long run and make your life so much easier. Let me know in the comments if you have ever had any nightmares when purchasing a home. I know my husband and I learned one lesson the hard way, and I'm sure many of you have as well. Be sure to hit that like button and subscribe to show me some love. Now watch this next video called La Quinta, California Complete Tour 2024.